Hey guys, so Denver Comicon is coming up this weekend. It's like Halloween in June, except the characters that you see are either video game characters, characters from movies, or cartoon characters. So this year, my kids actually wanted to dress up. Cameron, my son, is actually going as Poe Dameron from the new Star Wars movie. And then Emma is going as a little critter called Peridot from Steven Universe. Yeah, don't feel bad. I had to look that one up too. So the main clothing pieces that they're going to need for their costumes, we ordered them off of Amazon. Like this. Oh, here's a critter coming down the stairs right now. So on Amazon, we ordered for Cameron this really cool orange flight suit. That'll be the base for Poe's costume. And then Emma's, we ordered women's yoga pants, a leotard, and then they're actually thigh-high nylons that we're going to turn into her sleeves, right?
Yeah.
Her green arms.
For my arms.
Yeah. So the other parts that we're going to be using for their costume, we got through like foam from craft stores like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, spray paints and duct tape and that kind of stuff from Home Depot. Cameron's costume is a little bit more intricate as far as the parts go, so we went to a secondhand sports store in town, and then also they have, it's called Habitat Restore, where it's a lot of reclaimed parts and pieces to things. So, you know, for instance, his costume is going to need like vacuum parts, some other pieces and stuff. You'll see how we're going to put it into his costume. Those are kind of the parts that we're playing with, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you guys. I already started a little bit on Emma's arms and her legs to her costume, just because it's a lot of trying on, getting the fit on her arms so that she has movement, right?
Yes, it's very hard, especially this leg was extremely hard. It kept cutting me.
Right. So it was a lot of trying things on and making sure that she has movement because she's going to be walking and all that stuff. I started on her head, and that's probably going to be the first thing that we're going to get started on today. So we're going to start with Emma's character Peridot. We're going to start with her head. So it's actually pretty simple once you get into it. I found it was a package of 4 layered square foam. I think that's like 16 by 16. And what I needed to do is build them up like a block so that it's a 3D. I didn't want her to just be like this triangle piece of like pizza coming at you. So I wanted it to have a front, a back, and a side. So what I did is stacked them up, and I measured her head from the back of her head to where, you know, on her face, so that the depth would be on. And then we just kind of went from there. So one of my favorite tools is my hot glue gun, and I actually blew up my old one, so I had to go out and get a new one. So I spent, you know, a night just hot gluing the squares together, measuring again from the corner of like where her chin is, because her hair actually comes kind of straight off of her chin. So it was a little bit of measuring Emma's face to the top of the triangle, just so that the dimensions were correct. Once it was glued together, I actually I just took a kitchen knife, a serrated kitchen knife. The stuff is actually pretty easy to cut, kind of like you're carving a pumpkin, really.
Yeah.
So you just started kind of cutting out the shape of her head and having her trying it on. Once I got the shape of her head in here, I needed to give her allowance for her hair. Those of you guys who know my daughter, her hair is super thick. And so we needed a place for her hair to go. So I don't know if you can see it, I cut out a little hole almost to the back layer. So you can kind of see it if you push out. This is where her hair is going to go. So before we get her all put together, we're going to put her hair up in kind of a loose bun and then shove it in this hole, and she should be good to go. So we are going to take this guy out in the backyard. We're going to put probably several layers of yellow spray paint on, and let that dry. So that is going to be step number 1 today.
Yay.
Okay, so for Emma's character, her Peridot, her arms and legs they're called limb enhancers, right? Mm-hmm. So they're almost like little robotic pieces that sit on there. And this was a little bit, the arms were easier than the legs are, so we're still kind of working on the logistics of the legs. So what we're using, we think, is a piece of that foam that I had, and what I did is I originally just kind of attached the back like that, and I don't know, I just connected two of the corners in the back with some duct tape, and then slid that on her leg first. Because I want some stability with the poster board, but I still want her to be able to walk in it as well. So that's what this is, the foam
Part
bottom.
sticking out.
Yep. And then the poster board is, or this part is just green poster board. So it's just green poster board, sorry. We're still trying to work out the logistics of getting it on her leg without cutting, so I think I might have to add some, maybe some thin foam right there, and then we can, that's gonna be under your diamond anyway, there's a little diamond that sits on her knee, so that might work there, and she's gonna have pants on, so hopefully it won't tear into her feet too much, but, Emma, can you kind of turn, so the foam is actually gonna sit over, she's gonna have tennis shoes on, so her foam is just gonna sit over her tennis shoe. And then, and you can walk, right? Can you walk?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of. Okay. So we think that that's the way that we're gonna go. Right now, I'm gonna cut out the other green part of poster board.
And
while
make
we're still,
it to my other leg.
yeah, while we're still trying to figure out the foam and how that's exactly gonna work underneath. I just don't want it cutting into her knee, so.
Yeah, because that would hurt.
Yeah.
For the rest of the day.
Yeah.
If I do cut it.
So that's what we're gonna be doing next. I'm gonna show them your arm pieces.
Ooh, yes, I would love to wear them.
Okay. So these are her arm enhancer, or the limb enhancers for her arms. Hold on. Okay, go ahead and put one on. I think that's your other one. That's the other one. Other arm.
Oh.
So, same thing, green poster board. We did a lot of slipping on and off of her arm just to make sure she could still bend. So what I did is I had a thinner piece of foam, it's a little bit more sturdy than that I put on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then I just duct taped that into the inside of the cone. I hot glued the seam so that it wouldn't, it's taped on the inside as well as hot glued on the outside. What I also did is I made a little thumb hole, or a little handle for her thumb so that she actually can hang on to that.
So then it won't slip off my hand when
Right.
we're walking.
Right. And it gives her something to hang on to as well. So, hopefully you don't have to pick your nose or scratch your butt. So, do a little walk and let's see how that... Okay. And so I think it's coming together. We're just I'm gonna work a little bit on her leg. Careful not to bend your poster board right now. Once we get that all to where she can try it on, we will do that. We'll be back. Shift gears and go to Cameron's costume. His X-Wing pilot guy has a helmet, which I'm going to work on next because I'm feeling the helmet is what's going to give me probably the most trouble. So we went to a second-hand sports store and I got just a baseball helmet. Made sure it fit him comfortably because he's going to be wearing it for a while. And what I need to do is the helmets that they have, they don't have the bill. The X-Wing pilots don't have a bill on their helmet. So I'm going to take a hacksaw and I'm going to cut off the bill. I'm probably going to have to file it down just so I can get the shape afterwards. It is going to be painted, or at least we're going to add some decals and stuff like that, so you shouldn't see that we modified the front of that. So that's what's going to come next. So I'm going to get my hacksaw and my helmet and head out to the garage and do that. wanted to show you guys what I've done for the vest. In his costume, he has this white, like, flight suit vest thing, and it has like this ventilation box with a tube. So I thought it kind of resembled a life jacket. So I took all the belting off, cut that all off. I left the pockets just because I think the pockets are kind of cool. It's obviously the wrong color, so I picked up, it's kind of an off-white. This one is called Heirloom White. So the thing to remember with the vest is you want to get the shape and the details before you paint. This is all going to be painted that cream white, so it's going to look really cool. For the ventilation box, and I was looking for something box shaped that maybe had buttons, and this was perfect. This is an old thermostat that somebody had left there. So I took it. I'm going to tape over those so those stay kind of that dark tan color. But this, along with the vest, is all going to be painted that same off-white color. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually attach this to this piece of foam, and we're going to hot glue it on one side, okay, so that it sits down like that. And then this side is going to be trimmed down with some Velcro so that camera can get in and out of his vest. And then this is where the tubing and all that gets attached. So right now I am actually going to go head out and spray paint the vest, and spray paint the foam, and spray paint the box. Vacuum parts and
Yeah!
it's just a work.